Trump administration plans new offshore oil lease auctions along U.S. coasts starting 2026. The Department of the Interior has drafted a plan that would open fresh offshore oil lease auctions for several U.S. coastal regions, with a target start date of 2026. The areas under consideration include the Atlantic seaboard of New England, the coastal waters of both North and South Carolina, and the Pacific stretch off California. Although offshore drilling is a familiar sight along the Gulf of Mexico and in parts of Alaska, the Atlantic coast presently hosts no active leases, and California has not issued a new offshore lease since the mid-1980s. In tandem with this initiative, Interior officials disclosed an intention to reopen roughly 1.56 million acres of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge's coastal plain for oil and gas extraction, effectively reversing a previous Biden administration restriction on Arctic drilling. The move sparked swift criticism from Democrats, with Senator Edward J. Markey labeling it a giveaway to fossil fuel benefactors and demanding an immediate rollback. The lease assessment process is being conducted under the National Outer Continental Shelf Oil and Gas Leasing Program, which typically issues 5-year lease terms. Under the Biden administration, offshore leasing reached a historic low, and a court in Louisiana recently ruled that the administration's massive withdrawal of offshore acreage was unlawful. Should the proposal gain approval, California could see its first lease sale by 2027, while the Beaufort Sea sector of Alaska could move forward as early as 2026. Leaseholders would receive a 5 to 10-year window, depending on water depth, to explore and develop the resources. A public comment period launched in April for a revised 5-year gas leasing policy, attracting more than 34,000 submissions. Governors Josh Stein of North Carolina and Henry McMaster of South Carolina released a joint statement denouncing offshore drilling, emphasizing the potential economic and environmental harms to their states. South Carolina's governor and Republican gubernatorial hopeful Nancy Mace echoed this bipartisan opposition. The Trump administration had previously tried to introduce offshore leases during its first term, only to retreat after pushback from legislators in Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina, subsequently imposing moratoria around those states before the 2020 election. The current proposal excludes Florida, but it remains uncertain whether the moratoria for the Carolinas will be maintained. The Interior expects to issue its initial proposal in the coming weeks, followed by 2 more comment periods before a final plan is enacted.